Okay, good morning and welcome to all of you. If you notice that your mic is not muted, please just mute it. Otherwise it becomes a bit tricky picking up the background sounds in each of ours and each of our spaces. Just sit on something. It can be a foam or a blanket, whatever you've got. So just take a moment for the base of your posture to become settled. It may help to draw your buttocks flesh back so that you can find your sitting bones so they are facing directly down onto the support. Just hold onto your knees and then lift your chest. So feel that the base of the pose now settles. Feel the sitting bones, just move a little bit, feel where they are. If your knees are held up quite high and you feel your groins are quite tight, just take a little bit more support as we really allow the base of the seated asana to become settled down towards the earth. And then from there, allow the sides of your waist to lift, the sides of your rib cage and your chest. And then bring your hands into the prayer position, Namaskarasana. And then gently close your eyes. Allow your shoulders to roll back. Your shoulder blades to move broadly down your back, while your chest gently lifts and opens, opening your heart space, the heart chakra. Allow your eyes to softly move back towards the back of your head, and your lips become softly connected, so no tightness around the jaw. Let your tongue rest into the lower palate of the jaw, moving away from the front teeth. We spoke on Wednesday about the Om sound. You often see it written as O-M, but the actual sounds, when it's described in writing, it's A-U-M, which is A-O-M. So let's just be aware of that sound before we do the three Oms. And the first sound, A, starts at the very base of the spine, the root chakra. And as the sound changes to O, it comes up towards the solar plexus and the heart center. And by the time the sound changes to it's right into the top of your head, and then you may feel a slight little release as it comes out the top of your head. So let's be aware of that, the sound and how it changes and moves through our bodies. We'll do the three Om sounds together. Keep your eyes closed. Empty your lungs completely. Inhale. your eyes closed and just release your head to your heart now, to your chin, to your chest. So in Atmanjali Mudra. And just take a moment to dedicate this time entirely to yourself. Let's be filled with deep gratitude for being able to be here and to be able to do this. Release your hands so your palms face up. Just keep your head down for now. Slowly open your eyes. Keep your chest and spine lifted. And then raise your head. We're going to stay seated as we are. And we're going to take our hands forward. If your hips are really tight, you can grab a chair, a dining room chair or a stool or whatever you have to put in front of you to come forward and hold on to. If you have blocks to put your hands onto, you can do that. But if you reach the floor okay, then just stay as you are. Keep your chest lifted, collarbones broadly moving away from each other. And then inhale, take your arms up, stretch up, lift your chest. And then exhale, come forward, bring your hands onto the floor, fingertips to touch the floor, and now lift your chest. Keep your breath flowing. So remember, if there's no instruction for breath, don't hold your breath. Keep your breath flowing, soft and serene. So pause here and allow the front of your body to really lift and lengthen as you reach back into your sitting bones. Feel the sitting bones moving down towards the support. And the opposite is happening. The front of the body is lengthening forward and up. Now walk your hands forward. Keep those two opposing directions of the body happening. Sitting bones back as you're walking your hands forward, forward. Front of the body lengthening. And now flatten your hands if you can. Spread your fingers. Keep your chest lifted. Reach back into your sitting bones. Breathe. And now release your head so that your ears are next to your upper arms. If your head comes naturally down to the floor, that's fine. Keep your eyes open and breathe. Allow your exhalation to soften wherever there's tightness. Exhale and release that pressure or that tightness. And then raise your head. Lift your chest, come up onto your fingers again, onto the fingertips. Take your hands forward and up as you inhale. And then exhale, take your arms to the sides. Keep your chest lifted. So now move your hand over to your right. So your right side, creep that hand all the way over, slide it over. Flatten the palm. Turn your chest and turn the other arm and bring it all the way up and over, stretching over. So you may need to bend your right elbows if you can get your chest even lower to the ground. But now rotate your chest up to the ceiling. Gently press your left knee down, so the opposite knee down. Lovely opening stretch. Take your head back in line with your spine and breathe. Try and breathe in and out from that left rib cage that's rolling up and open to the ceiling. Slowly come all the way up. Take your hand to the other side. So you're going now to your left. Flatten the hand. Gently press down into your right knee and then bring the other arm up and over. Stretching up and over into those fingers. So bend your left arm if you need to. keep your right knee gently moving down towards the floor. Feel that lovely opening and lengthening to the side body. And now invite the breath to come from and into the right side of the rib cage as it's opening up towards the sky. And then bring your arm all the way up and over. Change the crossing of your legs. Draw your buttocks flesh back again so that you're on the support with your buttocks bones. Often what happens is the pubic bone tends to tilt up and we sort of get that rounding. So allow the pubic bone to move down to the floor. If you can't get that action, take more height. And now inhale, take your arms up, stretch up, lift and open your chest. Exhale as you come forward, place your fingertips to the floor and lift your chest. So pause here. You can feel how your knees can now naturally descend down. The groins can be soft in this position where you're lifting the chest. You haven't gone too far forward yet. Keep your breath flowing. And now really focus on getting your sitting bones to move back towards the support as the front of your body lifts and lengthens. Walk your hands forward to your maximum. Reach forward, flatten your hands, spread your fingers. And now release your head next to your upper arms. Or if you're using the chair, you can rest your forehead onto the chair. Keep your eyes open. Become aware of wherever there may be tightness. It may be on the other hip now, you may be feeling it somewhere in your back, wherever it is. Allow your exhalation to release and soften that tightness. And then raise your head, lift your chest, come up onto your fingertips again. Take your hands forward to face each other. Inhale, come all the way up, stretch up. And then exhale and release. So now we'll go to releasing the hips. So we're really working this morning on opening and releasing the hips. So take your right arm out again, move that hand away from you, flatten it. Turn your chest and then bring the other arm up and over. Stretch up and over into that arm. Turn your chest. Take your head back in line with your spine and breathe. So your left knee is now able to gently descend down towards the floor. Don't force anything. Try not to bounce the knee. Just keep the knee still, but gently with the intention of moving down towards the floor. And then bring your arm all the way up. Come sit up. Keep your chest well lifted. Keep your collarbones again moving away from each other. And then take the other hand out to the side. So now you're going to your left. I'm doing the mirror image. Bring the other arm all the way up and over. Stretch up. Feel how you're lengthening from that outer right hip all the way up into the right fingertips. Revolve your chest up to the ceiling. Let your right knee relax down towards the floor. And then bring your hand all the way up, come up to sitting. Just extend your legs in front of you. If you're on a support, just slide all the way off. Let your buttocks flesh move behind you. Have your feet hip width apart. Press down into the floor with your fingers pointing forward. Take your elbows back, shoulders back, and lift your chest. Just release the back of your legs down to the floor. Feel that your shin bones are gently pressing into the calves. And see that your knees are facing exactly up towards the ceiling. So your legs haven't rolled out to the sides. And then from here, interlace your hands. Turn so that your thumbs face down towards the floor. Inhale, take your arms up. Keep your breath flowing. Gently press the back of your legs down towards the floor. If when you press your calves into the floor, if your heels lift off the floor, just come away from that. Your heels need to be pinned down to the floor. Inhale deeply. And now exhale, release your chin down to your chest. Keep breathing. Take your hands further back. Look forward. Inhale deeply again. And then exhale, bring your hands all the way forward and down and back to this position where they're cupped in a way that you could be holding a bowl of water and the water wouldn't escape. See which little finger is closest to you. And now just change that so the other little finger becomes closer to you, so it's closer to you, still holding that bowl of water. Gently touch your thumbs together, or if they cross, if you've got very long thumbs and they cross, it's fine. Turn your thumbs away from you and down. So you've let go of that water, now your arms are completely straight. Inhale, take your arms up. And exhale, continue with soft, serene breath. Eyes are soft. Inhale. Exhale, release your chin down to your chest. Keep breathing. Take your hands further back, your arms further back. Lift your chest, look forward and inhale. And then exhale, bring your hands all the way down. And release your hands. Let's stand for a sun salutation, Surya Namaskar. We'll just do a gentle Surya Namaskar. You can stand to the one side of your mat. I'm going to just adjust the computer so my head is not chopped off. Let's see if that works. Hopefully. Okay. So your feet are together. Just stand for a moment in Tadasana, which is this upright, strong mountain pose. The other name Samastiti, where you find your balance. So you can just turn your head to look here. For those of you, if you need to at any time come out of this or at any stage in the yoga practice, knees apart, and you slide all the way forward with your hands and you release your head down. So Adho Mukha Virasana. At any time of the practice, if you just need a moment, come down into that asana. So still with your ankle bones touching, shoulders rolling back and extending down into the little finger side. Lift your chest. And now move the weight onto the heel side. So move your front thighs back, front ribs back. Feel that the inner thighs are revolving back, rolling back, inner thighs back. Keep your breath flowing and your eyes are open. Inhale, take your arms up, stretch up, look up. And then exhale as you come down, release your head down. If your hands go to the floor, that's fine. Otherwise, use your hands to your shins. So just ease out the hamstrings, let the neck be soft. Straighten your legs. And now bend your legs and step back with your right. So we're into the high lunge position with your right leg back. Come up onto your fingertips and completely straighten that right leg. Lift that right thigh up away from the floor. Put your hands flat onto the floor and step back with your left foot onto the balls of your feet with your heels off the ground. So you're in downward dog, but the heels are lifting. Come right up onto the balls of the feet. Straighten your legs. Your feet are hip width apart. Your hands shoulder width apart. Keep your eyes open and just bring your ears in line with your arms now. So look down to the mat. Slowly now, take your heels back and down. Straighten your legs. Keep taking your heels back and down. They may not touch the mat, but have the intention that they're moving towards the floor. And then come forward into a plank. So your shoulders are above your wrists. Spread your fingers so there's a good surface area. You feel that your hips are lifting up, lower them down. And if you feel that you're hanging in your hips, lift your front thighs up away from the floor. Nice straight plank. And now bend your elbows, bring your chest through your arms into upward dog. Shoulders back. Your toes are pointed back. Press down on the top of your feet so that your thighs lift from the floor. And now roll over your toes, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Straighten your legs, take your heels back and down now. And then look forward, step forward with your right leg and then your left leg with your feet apart. Bend your knees to come up into Utkatasana. Strong, fierce pose. Keep breathing. Inhale, come up, join your feet and your palms and exhale. So into the prayer position, Namaskarasana. Just have a moment here, catch your breath. Release your hands to the sides. Stand completely upright again. Take your weight to your heel side. So again, front thighs back. Inner thighs moving back. Abdomen broadly spreading back. So that way you can take your front ribs back. Shoulders back. So as if there's a wall behind you that you're opening and flattening against. So dare to move even further back. That it feels like your toes are going to lift from the floor, but keep lengthening your toes forward. And now inhale, take your arms up, stretch up, lift up. And exhale into Uttanasana. Head down, hands to the shins or to the floor. Keep your breath flowing as you bend your knees, step back with your left. So see now that that right leg that's bent is in a right angle. So to check that your knee is above that ankle. Back leg straightening and lifting. Feel that inner thigh of the back leg is lifting up towards the sky. And now flatten your hands, step back with your right foot. Your feet are apart, you're on the balls of your feet. Adho Mukha Svanasana with your heels lifted. Spread your fingers and now move your chest closer towards your legs. Keep your ears next to your upper arms. Inhale deeply. And exhale, release your heels back and down. Straighten your legs. Feel the back of your legs opening. And then come forward into a plank. So again, straight and strong. Your breath is flowing, but the muscles are wrapping to the bone. And now bend your elbows, bring your chest through your arms and up into Urdhva Mukha Svanasana, upward facing dog. You can have your feet apart, but your toes are pointing back. Chest is lifted. Roll over your toes, downward dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. And now look forward, step forward with your left foot and then your right foot. Feet apart, bend your knees, come up into Utkatasana. So bend knees, straight arms are apart. Your chest is lifted. Inhale, come all the way up. Join your hands and your feet. And exhale, Namaskarasana. The prayer position, just release your hands and stand for a moment again, finding that samasthiti, that balance, and that openness to the front of the body. And then just relax. So we're going to work again with Utthita Trikonasana. I know we did that on Wednesday, but it's an excellent pose for opening up everywhere in your body. There's the option of the chair. So if anybody needs the chair, you can use the chair. So I'll just quickly demonstrate. We're using the chair. You could either use the seat of the chair or down onto the rung of the chair. Don't hold on your knee. If you can't get that low, rather just use the seats of the chair. It's actually great for really opening up against to do the triangle pose. So there is that option. Otherwise, just use your own body. Find the very center of your mat and bring your feet together. Stand completely upright. Bring your fingertips together. Either jump or step your feet apart. Inhale, jump wide. Extend into your fingers and lift your chest. And now turn to your right. Get your right foot all the way out to 90 degrees. The entire leg rolls out. Inner leg to the outer leg. Bring your back foot so your toes just turn in slightly. Keep your hips level and look forward. Inhale deeply. And then exhale, extend over to your right. Hold onto your shin and extend up into the left fingers. Revolve your chest. And breathe. So now your right side of the rib cage tends to arch up like a bit of a bridge. So lengthen from your right hip all the way to your right armpit. Lengthen the chest down. If you have the capacity to take your hand to the floor, do that without rounding your back or hold onto your shin or the chair. And now this upper rib cage, revolve it up to the ceiling and as if somebody's gently pressing it down to become parallel with the other rib cage. Bring it down. Take your head back in line with your spine. If you can, turn your head to look up to the left thumb. And now feel how the spine can now lengthen from the base of the spine, vertebra by vertebra, going to the top of your head. See if you can turn your chest now even more. And then look forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, turn your feet to the front. Keep your arms up. If your arms are tired, work more into your fingers. They become tired when they're soft and they become heavy. So extend into your fingers. Turn your left foot out to 90 degrees and the back foot in slightly. Just want to move this. So you're going to your left now. Just check in with your alignment. So it's always good to go back to the basics. See that front heel, if you draw an imaginary line, it's going to meet the back foot halfway in the middle of that foot. So adjust if that's not the case. Extend into your fingers. Inhale. And now exhale, extend all the way over onto your left side. Hold onto the shin or the chair and revolve, revolve, revolve. Keep opening up your chest. So your right palm is facing forward. And now as we did on the other side, you see how there's this sort of arch that happens here. You want to lengthen from your left hip to your left armpit. Lengthen and flatten down towards the floor on that side. If your arm is bent, you can take your hand to the floor. Otherwise, hold on to the shin, hold on to the chair. And now the upper rib cage, your left rib cage, let it flatten to become parallel with the rib cage at the bottom. From there now, take your head back and turn your chest even more. See if you can turn your head to look up to your right thumb. Keep your breath flowing. Keep your eyes soft. And then look forward. Inhale, come up. And exhale, turn your feet to the front. Jump or step lightly together. And release your hands. We'll do Adho Mukha Svanasana. We're going to do Adho Mukha Svanasana with something under the head. So whatever you need, you may need a very big hat. That's fine. Find whatever you've got at home, folded blankets or towels. You may need 1 or 2. So just measure for now, seeing what support you need where the top of your head can touch the support. And there should be no strain. So no strain in trying to get your head to the support. If there's any strain, just take more height. So find whatever it is that you need. And then take your feet apart, hands apart, and come into Downward Dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, supported. And feel that if there's more pressure on your head, if you're feeling any pressure on your head or your neck, take more support. It's that you're leaning into your head, so you don't want to lean and press into it. It's not balancing on the head. See if you can evenly distribute the weight between the feet and the hands, and that the head gets the least amount of pressure. So your neck is soft. And now take your heels back and down if you haven't already. Feel that your chest is moving closer towards your legs. That your outer elbows are moving in towards each other. Your arms are completely straight. And remember, if any of you have any shoulder problems, this is up to you to figure out what is best for you. Try turning your fingers out a little bit and hold like that. Maybe a little bit more. See what works for you. Until you find you shouldn't have pain in the shoulders, so move away from that pain. Keep moving your chest closer towards your legs. Reach up into your sitting bones. And if you're wanting to come down, ask yourself, what is it that's making you come down? Is it your mind? Are you not breathing? See if you can just last for a few more breaths if you're wanting to come down. Sometimes you get past that. Just hold. Become this asana. Become this shape. See if you can soften your eyes. Feel how the body can open with the breath. Use the exhalation to soften any tightness. And then take your knees apart, big toes to touch, point your toes back. Just have something under your head. Doesn't have to be too high, but something that is under your forehead. Take your hands forward, spread your fingers, and just release your head down. If your shoulders are feeling a bit overworked, bend your elbows. Just relax your elbows and your shoulders. But if you can, keep your arms straight, fingers spreading, forearms lifted, and close your eyes. Okay, raise your head, bring your hands back to your knees and bring your knees together. Bring your heels together and sit back onto your sitting bones. Just sit upright. For this next one, some of us may not have blocks. You may have foams. You may not have either of those. So then a chair will come into place. So I'll demonstrate with using the blocks. We're going to go to the one side with the blocks up like that, and we're going to do Parsvottanasana. So if you don't have the blocks and you've got a dining room chair or a stool, grab that. Okay, put it to the one side of your mat, or put it to your left side of the mat. So just so that we're doing the mirror image. And you can face the chair, bring your feet together, take your hands to your hips and take your elbows back. And now just step forward with your right foot. So this distance is very short. We want to make that longer. So if you need to adjust the distance of something, always use your back foot. So step back, make the distance even longer. See that the back foot is turned out slightly, toes out slightly. You can have a little space between. If you had to now draw a line with that front heel to that back foot, that is the ideal one. We want that in line to come back into the middle of that back foot. But for a lot of us, it creates a bit of instability. And if our hips are naturally wider, or if we have any hip problems, just take your foot out to the side. So we've all got our right foot forward. There's a little bit of a space here. Elbows are back, chest is lifted. Oh dear, I forgot now. Sorry about that. Hi, Ellie. Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I actually saw that I was going to cut us about 10 minutes ago, but I got so excited and so into it. I forgot to tell you guys to sign back in if it cuts out. So thank you for doing that. So lucky we weren't in the pose. You guys would be having a very long hold. Okay, I hope we've got everybody back. I see there's a few more coming back in. try that again. The chair in front of you, hands on your hips. Right foot is stepped forward. Let me just pin the video. Sorry, I see. Otherwise, Ellie, you're going to be taking the class, I see. 1 second, we've got the... let me go pin video. Check, hey, we're all becoming pros with this. So right foot is forward, your back foot is turned, toes are turned out slightly, and your hands are on your hip. Allow your left hip to move forward and your right hip to draw back. Both legs are completely straight. Reach back into your elbows and lift your chest. Let your shoulders descend down the back, away from your ears. And now inhale, take your arms forward and up. Look up, stretch up as you're inhaling. And now as you exhale, come forward slowly. Take your hands onto the blocks or the seat of the chair. Bring the blocks below your shoulders, or if you're using the chair, bring it in a bit closer. And now let the left hip move forward. Let it move forward and your right hip draws back. So you're trying to make the hips nice and level here. Your right leg, which is forward, allow that entire femur, the top of the leg, the head of the femur, to come and rest safely into that right hip. Keep your breath flowing. Sometimes that left hip wants to move back again. Bring the left hip forward. Move it forward. Draw the right leg even more into the right hip socket. And now come up onto your support with your fingers and lift your chest. So length to the front of your body. Keep your breath flowing. Feel all four corners on each foot. So sometimes we tend to roll onto the outside of that right foot. Bring that balance into the foot, the evenness of pressure into each foot. And now descend that back heel down. See if you can get flat onto the floor, that back foot flat to the floor. If you can't, just keep the action as if it's going flat into the floor. Keep lifting your chest. And now bring your hands to your hips, lift your chest, bend your front leg, and then step back. Keep your hands onto your hips and take your left foot forward. So now your right toes turn out slightly. Press back into that right heel. And check in here with that balance on that front foot. Feel all four corners. Lift the arch of the front foot. And now lift your chest, take your elbows back. Inhale, look up, take your arms up, stretch up. And then exhale, come forward. As you're coming forward, bring your right hip forward. Take your hands onto the support. Come up onto your fingertips, keep breathing. So now the opposite. Now we want our right hip to move forward and we want this left leg to come back into the hip. So bring the head of that left femur into the hip joint, safely into the hip joint. Keep lifting your chest, creating length to the front of your body. And as the front of the body lengthens forward, your shoulders move back and down, your shoulder blades down your back, broadly down your back. And now bend your front leg, take your hands to your hips and push back to stand up. You can step back as well if you need to. Release your hands and stand completely upright again in Samasthiti. Find that evenness from the base of your feet all the way up through to the top of your head. We're going to repeat that, but this time we're going to, for some of us, we'll take our head down. So I feel I should demonstrate here, and that it'll be the same pose. So going into it the same way, so just watch for now. We'll get to that point where we're getting length to the front of the body. And then for some of us, we're going to take our chest down. So it's not a case of taking the head down. If the head goes down, see what happens to my back? It rounds. So it's a case of lengthening forward, extending, lengthening. Keep looking forward. So some of us may not do this. Some may get your hands to the floor, or if you've got the blocks, you can use that. And then to take the head down. So just to where you get to. So if you've got the chair, you can still be doing this, getting the length and then taking your head down. You may need support, so you may need something a bit higher to rest your head onto. So find now, if you need some support, just bring it in. Rather have the support that you can take away than not have it, and then you get into the pose and you need it. Just take a moment to see if you need something on the chair, if you're using the chair. And then stand again with your feet together, hands on your hips, elbows back. Take the weight onto your heel side. Let the entire front body move back to the back body. And now step forward with your right. Back toes out slightly, your heels in. Bring your left hip forward. Bring your right hip back. Lift your chest. Inhale, take your arms up. Reach up, lift the sides of the body up. And exhale, come forward. Hands onto the support and pause. So there are a few parts to this pose. We're into this position now where we're lengthening the front of the body. Very important for a forward extension. Create the length. Let your collarbones move away from each other. So your chest is broad. And now for those of you going down, if you've got any back problems, stay as you are. Just stay here, hold and breathe. For the rest of us, inhale deeply. Lengthen the front of the body, lift. And as you exhale, keep looking forward as you lower your chest towards the leg. Hands down or lower the blocks, whatever's attainable for you. Keep breathing. And for all of us, bring your left hip forward, right hip back. Left hip forward, right hip back. Keep going. Use your breath to soften any tightness. Left hip forward, right hip back. Keeping the hips level, keeping the length to the front of your body. If you roll into the outside of your right foot, press down behind that right big toe. Keep breathing. And then raise your head. Bring your hands back onto the support. Make it higher, or hands onto the chair. Look forward. Still keep your left hip forward, right hip back. And now either step back, however is comfortable for your hips, if you've got any hip problems, or bend your right leg, take your hands to the hips and push back to come stand up. Release your hands. And we'll go now to the left. Keep your chest lifted. Take your hands to your hips again and draw your elbows back. Feel how in that action the collarbones move away from each other so your chest is open. Step your left foot forward. Toes out on that right foot. Heel in slightly. If you are battling to get that heel down, you can also slide something in underneath that back heel and have the intention of getting that heel onto the ground. Lift your chest. Inhale, take your arms up. And then exhale, come forward onto your support. Hands below your shoulders. Now the right hip moves forward, the left hip moves back. Press onto the support so you can lift and lengthen the front of the body. Lift your chest. So now for those going down, inhale, lift your chest even more. Widen your elbows, lower your props as you exhale. Keep your right hip coming forward. Take your head down. Go to wherever your personal maximum is. Keep your breath flowing. Right hip forward for everybody. Left hip. Left femur coming into that left hip joint. So feel now in this position, are you rolling onto the outside of your left foot? Press down more onto the right big toe and that mound behind the right big toe. Lift the inner arches of that front foot. Press back into the outer edge of that back foot and press down into your heel. And lastly, your right inner thigh, move it back. Right inner thigh moves back. And then bring your blocks up a little bit higher. If you're using the blocks, or come up onto the seat of your chair. Lift your chest. Bend your front leg, hands to your hips, and step all the way back. Release your hands. So today we're going to leave out number Shirshasan. We're using this class so that it's attainable for everybody. What we're going to need is a bit of support for under your head. We're going to do Prasarita Padottanasana. This is a widespread pose. So a chair can be used, or whatever you've got, blankets, foams, bring whatever you need in front. So with this one, it's better to have more than to get into the pose and realize actually you need more. We need the top of the head to touch onto the support. So I'll just demonstrate just quickly for those of you who aren't familiar with this, or you just need a reminder. This is the one where we start in this position. We move our hands back and we take the top of the head down onto the support. So grab whatever it is that you may need, put it in front of you, and use the very back edge of your mat. Take your heels all the way back to the very back edge. So my mat's a little bit close to the wall. Stand at the back edge, hands onto your hips, step wide. See that the outer edges of your feet are parallel to each other. Elbows back. So again, the same action where you draw your elbows back, the collarbones move away from each other. Your chest is lifted. Create that openness and the length to the front of your body. And now inhale, take your arms up. And then exhale, come forward, fold forward, bring your hands below your shoulders and look forward. So pause here. Breathe. Press down onto the outer edges of your feet so that the inner arches lift. And from the inner arches, they run up the center line, this inner line of your leg, up to the inner groin. So now you've got your support. Keep looking forward. Move your hands back. So you see we haven't lost that length to the front of the body. You can feel how the upper back can become concave. We want that now. Keep looking forward and then take your head down last. As you lower your chest, top of the head comes onto the support. If you can, take your hands further back to be in line with your ankles, but if it feels like you're going to roll forward, obviously just bring your hands a little bit more forward, but try, if you can, get your hands all the way back. Straighten your legs. Gently press down, so keep your head down. I'm just keeping my head up so that you can hear me, so it's not all muffled. Your head is down. Spread your fingers to create a good surface area, and now gently press down into your hands as your forearms lift, your upper arms lift, and your shoulders lift. So there's a lovely lengthening and opening to the neck. There's no pressure on the head. If you're feeling pressure onto your head, adjust that by working into your feet. Maybe you need to bring your weight further back onto your heel side. So find that. It's different for all of us. But we don't want more pressure on the head than is on the feet. See if you can keep your eyes open here so you stay very present in this pose, Prasarita Padottanasana. And with anything, if you need to come out of a pose, just come up, release. Maybe you need to bend your knees a little bit. You can go down, back into it. But ask yourself before you come out of a pose, what is it that's making you come out? If there's an extreme pain, of course, come out immediately. But if you're tired, with your mind, just try and last through 2 or 3 more breaths. Keep your shoulders lifting away from the floor. Feel how your kneecaps are gently secured into the knee joint, so the back of your legs are opening. So that your hamstrings are moving up towards your sitting bones. And that crease that we have just below the buttocks, that broadens out to the sides. So if you're on the chair, your head's on the chair, obviously use the legs of the chair. Find what works for you. That's what's beautiful about yoga. It's attainable to everybody. It doesn't matter what somebody else is doing. We find what works best for us. And now raise your head. Bring your hands forward to below your shoulders or onto the chair. Look forward. So again, creating that length to the front of the body. Take your hands to your hips. Lift your chest. So don't round your back when you come out of it. And then heel, toe in. Step your feet together. Release your arms to your sides. So this is Tadasana, and I mentioned that there's a second name for it, Samastiti. It's often used as a metaphor for your center. So with standing poses, we often come back to this. So just bringing ourselves back to our center, upright, strong and balanced. So now, if you have any wall space available, use it. If you don't, it's fine. You do work a little bit harder without the wall, which is also fine, but any injuries or anything like that, or if you'd like to go to the wall, take the wall and a support. Have your strap. So if you don't have a strap, whatever you've got, a scarf or a sarong, something, you may need more height. So keep the rest of your props next to you. So I'm going to show you with 2 high supports. We're going to bring our feet together into Baddha Konasana. If your knees go down, then that's great. If they're still up high, take more support. We want their groins to be able to soften. So I'm going to use 1 support. So just feel what's right for you. Keep them nearby in case you need them. And then extend your legs forward into Dandasana. Draw your buttocks flesh back. So draw it back. Press your fingers onto the floor. Your fingers are facing in the same direction as your feet. And now lift your chest. Press the back of your legs down onto the floor. So just pause there for a moment. Keep your chest lifted. Sitting bones pinning down to the floor. Take your right leg and hold it so you can almost let the sole of the foot curl up towards the ceiling, and bring that foot and place it in as close to you as you can get it and to the support. Let that knee soften down. So some of us with knee problems or hip problems, you may need support. Have enough support or a block that you may need to place underneath that side of the leg. Take the other foot, curl the sole of the foot up towards the ceiling, and then place it down, heels together. See that your feet are evenly placed together. And then take your chest back, take your shoulders back, let your chest lift up. Hands just gently resting on the outer thighs. So this is Baddha Konasana. have the wall, let your front ribs move back to the wall. If you're sitting free and you're battling to sit like this, you've got your strap, just take the strap underneath your feet like that. And also if you are on high support, you can take your strap and gently pull on the feet. In fact, you've all got the strap there, so let's just all add this in. Get the strap around your feet, or whatever you've got, belt or sarong. Bring your elbows into your sides. Lift your chest. And now is where we allow the groins to become completely soft. So it's not something that we can force, but we can help it with our breath. So allow your eyes to descend, to look down to the floor just in front of you. Your eyes are soft. Connect to your breath. And as you exhale, invite a softening, releasing breath in and around the groin areas, which helps the knees to soften. So we don't force this pose, don't bounce it. Just connect to your breath now, softening on the exhalation. And then release the strap. Help your knees up by gently guiding each one up. Place your feet onto the floor. Bring your knees together. Hold around your shins and lift your chest. Roll your shoulders back. You can take the props off the mat. Just lie back onto the floor. Place your feet apart from each other. Knees are bent. Lie back. Let your shoulders get tucked all the way under. Shoulder blades moving down towards your sitting bones. And just hold the outer corners of your mat. Turn your toes in slightly towards each other. Heels out a little. So that you're trying to bring your feet into being parallel. And now we're going to lift the pelvis. Inhale, and as you exhale, press into your feet, lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Come onto your shoulders, tuck your shoulders under even more. Press into your feet. Let the gluteus maximus, the buttocks tighten and lift up. Lift up your pelvis even more. Keep breathing. So you need to engage the buttocks in order to stay up. So let the buttocks tighten upwards, lifting the sacrum up. Hips are nice and level. And now slowly, as you come down, lengthen the lumbar, the lower back and the tailbone away from you and lower onto the floor. If you can, bring your feet a little bit closer to you. So for those of you who have been practicing for a while and are able to hold onto the front ankles, do so. Tuck your shoulders under. For the rest of us, hold onto the sides of the mat. See that your feet, feel that your feet are parallel to each other. And now inhale and exhale, come all the way up. Be on the top of your shoulders. So tuck your shoulders under. Tighten around the buttocks, let it support and lift the entire pelvic girdle up. Breathe. Don't turn your head. Just keep looking up to the ceiling. If you feel your hips hanging, tighten around the buttocks a little more. Lift up, lift up. And now slowly come down. Lower back lengthening, tailbone curling up. Flatten your back to the floor. Take your feet wide apart to the outside of the mat. Move your feet a little bit away from you and then allow your knees to touch each other. So just relax there. Take your arms up and overhead. Just bend your elbows. Relax your arms behind you. And we'll go into Shavasana, the relaxation. Just roll over to your right to come up. Use your left hand to lift yourself or push down onto. You can take your calves up onto a chair if anybody has any back pains, problems that are there. Use that. It's a lovely release. You shouldn't have pains from the class. I'm talking about existing ones. So use that. Otherwise, a bolster under the back of your legs, a pillow, or some of you may prefer just to lie flat. At least for everybody, something under their head. So a folded blanket. And when you lie down into this, don't just flop down. Keep your legs bent. Lie down. See that you've got even space on each side of the body so that you can see you lying in the center of the mat. And then bring the folded blanket or towel so that it just touches the top of your shoulders. So the back of your head rests onto the support. Your hands face up, just at the sides of the body, a little bit of space between the upper arm and the torso, and then you can straighten your legs over whatever support you've got. And then here, let go of your feet. Let them roll to the outer edges, roll to the floor. So before you completely relax, just a couple of adjustments. Let your shoulders tuck all the way under and down your back. Let your buttocks flesh move away from you towards your feet. If you have eye cover, you can use eye cover. Otherwise, just close your eyes. Feel that the back of your neck lengthens so that your chin can descend down towards your chest. So now, after all that stretching and aligning and balancing, this is where you can completely relax. Let go entirely of the physical body. Welcome this grounding feeling as the front of the body relaxes and softens to the back body. Feel how the eyes can soften away from the eyelids towards the back of the skull. Let go of any tension around the eyes. And the tongue, let it follow by softening away from the front teeth and becoming broad and softening towards the back of the throat. Feel that the back of the body is now softening as if it's melting into the earth below. Just become aware now of your breath. It's soft and serene, this beautiful life force that's present. And allow yourself to connect to your life, this life force, your breath, as it draws you gently into this inner sanctuary within your heart center, your heart chakra. So if your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath and settle in this inner sanctuary. Bring your attention to your heart center or Anahata chakra. And imagine this beautiful green orb of light here. And as you start to lengthen your breath, allow this orb of light to rise and expand from your heart center. Filling every cell in your body. Bring your hands onto your abdomen, around your navel. And just bend your knees. Bring your right arm up and overhead onto the floor behind you. So as you roll to your right, let your head rest onto your arm. Let your eyes be open now and let them focus down to the floor. Come sit all the way up. Use your left hand to push onto the floor to lift up. Bring your head up last and sit on something, whatever you have there. Cross your legs or however you feel comfortable, but bring your hands together one more time in the prayer position. Lift your chest, lift your spine, and release your head to your heart in Atmanjali Mudra. And just take a moment again to be filled with gratitude and love. May you keep this close to yourself as you move through the rest of this most beautiful day. Thank you everybody and namaste. Thank you all for joining and putting up with the technical difficulties.
Thanks, Kaz. Bye-bye.
Thank you everybody. Bye-bye. Sorry, we did go a little bit over time, but it was nice to see you all.
Thanks, Kaz. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Thanks all. Lots of love. Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks, Kaz. Kaz, do you think you continue after lockdown with these Zoom classes?
Yes, definitely, Daisy. I don't know how soon things are going to get back to normal there anyhow, and I'm really trying to figure out this recording thing, but I'm not doing too well with it.